coming up here in just a little bit. We'll be back to hear from Atlantic head coach Tim Duff right after this on our State Farm Elvis Has Coaches Show.
That wrestler in the corner is dedicated and determined to work as hard as he can for his team. His drive and perseverance comes from his core. Now, wouldn't it be nice to have an insurance agent do the same for you and be on your team? Here at Elvis Has State Farm, we're in your corner to help you with your insurance on your auto, home, farm, business, life, and financial services. We help you understand your insurance and show you the benefits of bundling all of your coverages with just one company. Put us on your team here at Elvis Has State Farm, 1/2 block west of the courthouse, or call 712-243-4824.
Welcome back to our Coaches Show, brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Hass, your local good neighbor, and joining us, Atlantic head wrestling coach Tim Duff, as we're getting set for the opener tonight here in Atlantic. Earlham at Atlantic for a duel, which we don't get to see very often, but it's going to be a fun atmosphere. JV wrestling right now here at 6 o'clock with a varsity to follow. Coach, thank you for joining us here. And, well, here we go. And I know you had your inter-squad scrimmages, matches on Monday night. You've got a lot of new faces in the lineup that you're going to bring along here. And what are we going to see here as far as a lineup tonight?
Hey, thanks a lot, Tom. Thanks for the coverage. Thanks to, I know Cody's video streaming it too. So, it should be fun if you can't make it out. But should be some great wrestling tonight. Earlham, really an up-and-coming 1A program. I think, talking with Coach Strandberg, he's excited. He's real excited. Their assistant coaches, they're real excited. They've put in a lot of time and effort building up their youth program, and these kids are starting to filter into their high school program. So they've got some tough young kids in their lineup. They've got some good older classmen, and I think they're hoping to really sneak up and surprise some people in 1A. So they're a team to watch. They've got big goals, and I think they've got a chance to make it state duels, and that says a lot. So they're gonna have a full lineup tonight, and that goes a long way right now in the sport of wrestling. And we're gonna have a few opens, but it should be an exciting duel. I'm not sure what weight we're start at yet, but just kind of looking up and down the lineup at 106, they've got a young freshman, Max Millage. He's a AAU state place winner. I think he got 5th place last year at 100 pounds at AAU, and that's a pretty good indicator that the kid can scrap. He wrestles out of Seabolt Wrestling Club. They're a predominant name in the youth wrestling clubs, and so for us, we've got senior Tay Jordan stepping on the mat. Tay's a kid that's spent some time in and out of the lineup his first few years, but as a senior has high goals and expectations, and so that should be an outstanding first match for both those guys to start the season, see where they're at 113. Earlham's got a senior in Nathan Hansen, wrestled last year varsity, a tough kid, and so we know that's going to be a scrap for us. We've got Braxton Haas, a sophomore, returning state qualifier for us, so another tough match there at 13. So they've got some really good kids down there in their little weights. At 120, unfortunately tonight we don't have a 120-pounder, and they've got a real tough kid, one of their better kids, Dallas Canoyer. So if you're familiar, you've been around the wrestling world down in Southwest Iowa, specifically Oakland. His dad wrestled down at Oakland. He's a tough kid. He's a junior, returning state qualifier, and unfortunately, like I said, we don't have a 120-pounder tonight, but they might move some kids, move guys around as they move through the lineup at 126. Josh Winey, he's a sophomore. We saw him in the lineup last year. He's a tough competitor. He picked up a win over us in the duel last year. At 126 for us, we're dealing with some ineligibility issues right now, so we'll probably be open at 126. So that's, for us tonight, the duel's going to be tough. We've got some opens, and we've got some kids out with some ineligibility and injuries, and just working through some situations. But, the kids we put on the mat, hopefully they come out and scrap. Probably featured match of the night, 132, Aiden Smith, our returning state runner-up, junior. He'll be wrestling Peyton Harger, senior from Earlham, probably one of their more highly ranked kids, a kid that battled hard at the state tournament last year. So they're looking at a couple state level kids there, a couple kids ranked real high in the state. That should be an outstanding match there at 132, 138. Earlham has a young I guess he's a senior, but Malachi Herska, and we saw him last year. He competed in that duel against us, performed pretty well, so we know he can wrestle, and we'll be putting out a new face, Jaden Harder, a freshman. Jaden's a kid that has spent some time on the mat, really improved. He'll be a 138-pounder for us tonight. At 144, you're going to be looking at a couple, young kids wrestling. For us, we'll be putting freshman Calvin Hayes on the mat, and Earlham's going to be putting a freshman Cole Idol out on the mat, and I think they're pretty high on him, and so and we like Calvin, so it should be a good match of two young kids out there. See what happens in that match, see if we can get after it. At 150, at 157 and 165, unfortunately, we're going to be open tonight, and they've got three guys there that are going to fill weights, and I think they're probably bump their 165-pounder Ryan Stiles up to 175. At 175, we've got Donnie Hedrington. Donnie's a sophomore. Donovan's been working and improving. He'll be wrestling 175 for us tonight. Right now Earlham isn't weighing a kid in at 175, but I'm sure they're probably bump Ryan Stiles up to 175. He's a returning state place winner at 100. At 1A down there weighing in at 165. But I could see them move him up to 175 at 190. They have a senior named Ty Willem. He didn't wrestle last year in the duel against us, but I looked up his results from last year. Had a nice season. We've got a senior in Cohen Bruce, so another good head-to-head matchup. So see some guys banging there. At 215, they've got a sophomore, Corbin Eder. We've got a couple guys at that weight. We're still trying to decide, who we're going to put out there. We have freshman Reese Long, freshman Brody Berkey, and sophomore Draven Mitchell. So we're kind of see what we do there with those three who we put out there. But another big match, should be a competitive match head-to-head. And lastly, at heavyweight, we've got our junior, Evan Sorensen. Evan was a state qualifier for us last year, and they've got a freshman named Keegan Long there, and I don't know much about. But, all we can do is come out and wrestle and scrap. It should be a fun night. We have the JV matches. It looks like there'll probably be 4 or 5 JV matches where we can get some JV kids matched up. Ricky's bringing Dance Atlantic, I believe JC Reed and Clevi Johnson are going to put on a performance there in between. And then we're going to introduce our little Trojan Wrestling Club kids tonight, and then we'll drop the spotlight and hopefully get after it. So, unfortunately, like I said, we're going to have a few forfeits, so it's going to make the dual score tough for us. We've got our work cut out for us. But hopefully we can come out and battle and win the head-to-head matches. We actually put kids on the mat and get out there and scrap, be aggressive, and work to score points.
Yeah, bonus points will be very important here, obviously, in the match tonight.
Yeah. For us to have any chance, we're going to have to pick up, win some of those toss-up matches, and maybe we can get lucky and maybe pick up a pin or something along the way. So hopefully our kids come out ready to wrestle.
Coach, those weights that are open tonight, will they be filled here as we move along through the season, or?
Yeah, hopefully we can get some kids back and work through some injuries and some things that it's just part of high school sports. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. All you can do is put the kids out there that we got at those weights and get out and compete.
Very good. Coach, best of luck. Thank you very much for the time. Our Coaches Show brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Haas, your local good neighbor. Coach, we'll talk to you afterwards.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll be back with more wrestling coverage right here on our live stream at westernouttoday.com, powered by Nishnanet. Back with more right after this.
The perfect companion is waiting for you at the Fish Store and Pet Center in Atlantic. Pick out a furry guinea pig, hamster, or mouse. Maybe something feathered. They have an aviary full of birds to choose from. What about something scaly, like a snake, lizard, or hermit crab? And it's in their name. A wide variety of fish are available at the Fish Store and Pet Center. Get all the food and accessories you need to keep that new addition to your family happy and healthy. The Fish Store and Pet Center in Atlantic, a pet lover's paradise.
And welcome back to Atlantic as the lineup's introduced. And we'll have the national anthem, and we'll have the opening of this one starting out at 126 pounds. We'll start our opening weight here this evening, and we'll keep it right here for our national anthem. to Atlantic as the Trojans and the Cardinals getting set for a dual action here tonight under the spotlight. The captains will meet here at the center. And we're going to get started here, Cody Weaver. And I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing what kind of matchups we have here this evening, huh?
Yeah, they have 126 on the board, but that was kind of on the board the last couple JV matches. So I'm not sure if that's where we're going to start weight-wise or not. But, whether there's an advantage for either team starting, with Atlantic's got a lot of weights to fill with, kids probably not weighing what the weight is, but to try to get a full duel in here and some competition. I think for Atlantic, if it does start at 26, maybe they feel that that's an advantage for them. Wrestlers shaking hands there. And
we'll see where we start here is In Your Corner, brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Hash, your local good neighbors. We're going to see a start at 132 pounds, I believe, here. Well, the showing 120. Aiden Smith is coming out for Atlantic.
Aiden Smith. So this would be the 32-pound match, and this is going to be the match of the night again.
That's exactly what Coach Duff was talking about. Aiden Smith coming out for Atlantic. Peyton Harger for Earlham. Your introductions brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Haas, In Your Corner, your local good neighbor. Well, looking forward to this one, Cody.
Well, they're potentially bumping kids around here. I don't know. The coaches from Earlham said something about something to Aiden Smith as he's running out there about something, and
so maybe it's not going to be Harger.
Well, we'll see here if they can update it on track wrestling here, but
on track it shows Harger, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. We do know it's Aiden Smith of Atlantic, a state runner-up a year ago. And he's had a lot of off-season work, and he's raring to go.
Yeah, and we see Earlham down at the John Harris tournament.
Yeah.
So, and like Coach Duff said, we met these guys, we dueled these guys last year. So, okay, so what they did was brought out the 26. They did start at 26. Earlham forfeited, so now they will send Aiden Smith out, and it'll be potentially against Harger there. So that was Carson Winey for Earlham getting that forfeit, and it'll be Smith here versus Harger at 32. So forfeit by Atlantic there at 26. So it's team score 6-0 right now. Earlham with that advantage, and get the video that you're watching maybe is a little bit cloudy, and it's probably because of the spotlight. But both wrestlers here look like they're ready. Smith right away jumps in on that low single, outside single, picks it up, goes the opposite direction. Harger doing a good job, trying to switch that over a little bit, and Smith able to come around behind here right away, puts that right leg in, now reaches across the body on the left side, kind of a cross body ride there, peeling that left arm out. Harger doing a good job sitting back into that leg that Smith has in, trying to take that advantage away there. Again, Smith with the right leg in. Harger doing a good job trying to fight those hands off. Now extends that left leg. Smith again cross body. Now goes power half here and going to try to go forward a little bit. Expose those shoulders. Gets a 2 count there on Harger. Harger doing a nice job spinning around there. Tries to almost come back for a takedown here, but they're going to give him a 1-point escape here, and Smith kind of shoves him out of bounds there. So 2 count there, so 4-1 right now. Smith with that advantage over Harger. Some separation there, and again, Smith started out with that low single there on the left side of Harger. Harger a senior here and Smith a junior, both quality components there. Smith goes in for that single again. Harger able to kind of step down on that, break that lock. Smith with a little bit of an elbow pass there, and they're working right in the center of the mat here with 27 to go here in this first period. Smith trying to get advantage here, but Harger holding on here. He does get advantage here as Harger on his back here and gets the foul. And so that'll be a team score there, 6-6 here. And Harger, comes off the mat, obviously not happy, fought harder than what the results were there, and Smith kind of catches him on the back there with 9.8 left in that first period. So we'll jump up to 138 here. Will be the next weight class here. So for Atlantic, it's going to be Jaden Harder. Working on updating track here.
So we go to 138 pounds, and Ismail Elba.
No, this is going to be Malachi Herska, and he's going to be taking on Jaden Harder. So Harder, right. A freshman coming in. A kid that works hard in the off season, trains with his dad on, some jitsu type stuff. Puts a lot of time in on the off season, and as a freshman coming in here, there's just most kids are pretty nervous in this situation, and he's had some high-level matches where he's wrestled off season, so he looks to be fairly comfortable there. And he's taking on a senior there in Malachi Hruska. Drops in on that single leg there, gets his head stuck inside there, tries to come up here right on the edge of the mat here. Gets Hruska kind of set on the edge there, and they're going to come back to the center, go out of bounds there with 1:25 to go there. So
anyway, Jaden Harder of Atlantic and Malachi Hruska from Earlham are in your corner starting lineup here at State Farm. Elvis Haas, your good local neighbor here, Cody Weaver. So off to a good start here with these two guys. Looks like they're pretty evenly matched, huh?
Yeah, so far, freshman versus senior, as a freshman, starting out at 138, that's pretty big. I think you'll see him probably move down if Smith moves down. But, doing it, he's a strong kid, tying up decent there. Kind of a head snap there by Hruska, and Harder did a good job taking advantage of that. And you can see him kind of working his way up the back there. And Harder with his hands locked there as he's working his hands up the back there. So it's going to be 2-1 now. Harder will still have that advantage, but with that violation of locked hands, Hruska will go back down in that bottom position there. He's down and set. Harder's did a good job there waiting to cover. Was a little bit anxious there. Covered left side, and it's going to be a caution on Harder there. And basically, it looks like his knee or foot is extended past the right side of Hruska there. You can see on the camera. Harder gets permission to cover there, covers right away, drops into an ankle pick, switches to a cradle there, sits back and gets Hruska on his back here. Hruska kicking and fighting there. And, Harder just needs to settle in here and hold on and get that knee in that side, and he's got it. A good grip on that.
Close.
Got the knee in the side there. Forehead, can't quite get in the temple, and Hruska doing a good job. There's 30 seconds left here, and, Harder can hold on or readjust, whatever he wants to do here. He's the guy that's got the advantage right now, that 2-1 advantage.
As you can see on your TV, 20 down to 17 seconds to go here, Cody. He's got to get that shoulder. I think Hruska's going to get back over his belly, and he's going to avoid the pin. But how about Jaden Harder? He looks good here.
Yeah, he still has that locked up, and he's not giving up on it yet.
He's going to run out of time is all, and but he's going to get 5-0 lead going into that second quarter. To recap here, Josh Winnie of Earlham won by forfeit at 126 to put the Cardinals up 6-0. And then Aiden Smith, the runner-up a year ago at the state wrestling tournament, he pinned Peyton Harger in 1 minute and 50 seconds. That tied it up at 6-6, and here we are, Jaden Harder and Malachi Hruska, and it's a 5-1 lead for Harder.
Harder took that bottom position there, which is really the only option. Yeah. Turns and faces, peels the hands. Right away, you see him continue driving in, and as a freshman here, you've got to kind of slow down a little bit, especially wrestling with a senior. The senior, you get somebody pushing into you, want to have potential to get thrown here, and you have to love Harder's aggressiveness here. Wrestling somebody else. He's got a nice underhook on that left side. And again,
nice shot.
Goes to a low single there. Needs to continue to circle here, and he had a similar thing there on the other edge of the mat here. So we're down to a minute 30. Harder picks that up, tries to scoot his hips around here. And he's got to make sure that Ruska doesn't get his leg in, and Harder did a good job there, peeled that right arm through, but they're going to go out of bounds with no control. Come back to the center in that neutral position.
Atlantic has 6 open matches. That's 36 points, so they're going to have to get a few pins here if they want to win the duel.
Yeah,
and they're off to a pretty good start.
Harder jumping in there on a nice single,
shot.
and you can see, you know, when you push in on a senior like that, they're going to use their leverage and their advantage there and just kind of try to throw you. And I talked about that a little bit earlier, where Harder, you got to love the aggressiveness, but you can't be too aggressive here. And he's got a long time here to fight. And he's a kid that doesn't give up, so ends up losing by fall there. So, you know, he had a 6-1 advantage there, got thrown to his back and pinned. And that's just something you need to learn as a freshman or anybody. You've got to just wrestle your match, and you want to score points. That's the goal, but you can't get yourself in a situation where you get thrown to your back.
I think that we're seeing a young man with a lot of potential.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was doing nothing but going forward right there. So.
And another freshman here, Cody Weaver.
Yeah, these are 2 freshmen here.
Yeah.
And again, this is will be Hayes against Cole Idle. Who's got a brother, it looks like, or cousin Corbin there at a bigger weight. So I don't know if the little brother picks on the big brother or big brother picks on the little brother. But
well, Hayes, I'll tell you what, at 144, and both these guys coming out here, this is going to be a rare opportunity to wrestle a couple of freshmen, because you're going to see some upperclassmen. There's a blasting double right out of the gate, Cody.
Yeah, quick shot there. Hayes doing a good job turning and facing, but right away you can see Idle's got a front headlock on there. Hayes kind of got his head stuck there. He's trying to turn and face and get that out, and does a good job with that.
Once again, the wrestlers, Calvin Hayes of Atlantic, Cole Idle from Earlham, brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Haas, your good neighbor. Oh, there's a switch. Idle almost.
Yeah, you see Idle trying to do some muscle there, and Hayes doing a good job. And Hayes with a kind of a fireman's there, trying to circle around ahead here.
He can step over.
He's got to be careful
there.
he doesn't get spladled, though. He needs to get his arm through and head through.
He's got to keep that leg.
And he's going to circle ahead here, towards the head here, and expose Idle's back.
He's going to get it, Cody.
And he's going to try to stack him up here.
Yeah, he got it. He got it. Now the reverse half.
Yeah, and he's got that Turk in on that left leg, driving forward on Idle there. And again, you'd love to see the aggressiveness by these freshmen coming out, just going after it.
Well, Coach Duff talked about that freshman class last Saturday. He really likes them. There's a lot of them. And Calvin Hayes is one of them, and he's off to a 3-2 lead here with a half a minute to go in the first period.
Yeah, and he should get some 3 near fall there, but he's in a little bit of a tough position here. He's got his hips in a bad position. Again, 25 seconds, and he needs to try to roll him towards the edge of the mat rather than towards the center. And Idle doing a good job there, hand fighting. Hayes chopping that outside arm, but Hayes with his hips down on that right side there really had nothing he could do except for hold on there.
3-2, Hayes leads a freshman against freshman here in this Elvis Haas State Farm 144-pound match. So now Hayes at the top here, Cody. 13 seconds to go. He's got to avoid any type of reversal, obviously.
Yeah, and I don't know. He must not got any back points there. And you see Idle trying to roll through, and Hayes doing a good job crossing that and posting that forehead, and chopping that right arm, driving forward here, and doing a good job riding that out. So that 3-2 advantage there for Hayes. It'll be Earlham's choice here, and coaches are kind of saying defer a little bit. And
that's what he's going to do.
And Hayes will take the Atlantic position, which is bottom.
Rarely do you see Coach Duff let him take neutral.
Only at the end of the season. And,
okay,
and I
that's
understand.
it?
You have to be able to wrestle on the bottom, on top, and then on your feet. And if you can't do all 3, you're going to have a tough time. So Hayes doing a good job coming up to his feet, kind of a cross-face cradle attempt there by Idle. Hayes now in on that outside single. And Idle doing a good job stuffing that head, and Hayes now switches back to that fireman's, which kind of worked for him there in the first period. Hayes jumping in here to switch into a double here. Again, works his way up, and again, he's got a hands locked there also. And that's the same thing that Harder got called for, and Coach Duff's coming over saying, hey, you should, you know, he switched to a double, and so the official there is going to talk to Hayes and say, you know, you need to, you can't lock your hands once you get them taken down or get possession. You have that short period of second basically to release that lock. So Idle goes back down the bottom position here, 1:25 to go. Hayes covers and
Caution.
Yeah, caution there on the belly button. And, you know, it's okay for them to be particular right now. They'll be particular stalling and other things later in the season. But Idle doing a good job sitting out. Hayes adjusts there. Blocks that right arm down, brings him back down to the mat, drives forward. Has Idle broken back down on his shoulder. Working on peeling out that right side, gets that arm pulled out there, trying to get a chicken wing there. He gets the chicken wing in right on the edge of the mat. And you can see the coaches say, you know, pull him back in, and as he's pulling him in, he's losing that right arm there. We're down to a minute here in the second period. So it's a 6-3 advantage now for, they finally awarded the back points there from that first period.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Atlantic trailing 12-6 here as wrestlers on the edge of the mat here. Not much action going on, and Winnie opened things up with a 4-foot 6-0. Aiden Smith, last year's state runner-up over Peyton Harger of Earlham in 1:50 to make it a 6-6 match, and then Malachi Rusk over Jaden Harder by a fall in 3:13 to make it Earlham up 12-6. And really, Harder was leading that match 6-1, and Hayes right now ahead of Idle 6-3 with 28 seconds to go.
Idle.
Oh boy, he's got a stack. Oh, he had him there, Cody Weaver.
Yeah, he cast his hips over there, and Hayes did a good job, but he's got to be careful there because he's wanting to chop that elbow of Hayes and roll through, and Hayes did a good job following him through and holding him on his back.
Not enough time, though? Not enough time for two?
Not enough exposure there or enough control.
Now the stack again.
Stack him up again there, and time's going to expire here in the second period, so it'll be Idle's choice here. And again, you know, Coach Duff talks about this class, and the class is obviously,
oh boy,
they're going to learn a lot. You know, wrestling varsity that first year as a freshman, and we're going to go back on our feet. So 6-3 right now, advantage for Hayes of Atlantic here. Shot there by Hayes with that underhook. Throw attempt there by Idle, and Hayes kind of comes back behind here and covers there for two. So it's 8-3.
Idle actually shot there, and Hayes had a nice block and countered with a takedown, Cody, and he looks impressive.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you watched the Iowa State duel on Sunday, but it's
start to finish.
You hear people in the stands hollering two, you know, and it's actually three now, so it's
that's right. We got to remember that.
They're going to go off the edge of the mat here and come back to the center. And
I had a coworker that mentioned that to me today. She said it's going to be hard not to yell that too when you get the, but it's three. You like that rule change?
I think it's for people that are good on their feet, it's a great advantage because it's not a one-score match, and it's 3-1, at the end versus 2-1 at the end of the first period. That's you have to get a takedown to win rather than. So Coach Duff not happy with that call there, being out of bounds. Hayes' both feet were in bounds there, and he called him out of bounds. So they're going to come back to the center here, and Idle's set there in that bottom position. 1:29 to go here in the third period, and it's 8-3 advantage now with Hayes. Idle tries to sit out there. Hayes doing an ankle pick, doing a good job keeping him broke down, working on that right side. Tries to chop that arm, gets that wrist that was left behind there, and now chops the left arm. So Idle doing a good job setting out there, but just needs to take that arm with him and kind of turn and face here. And Hayes really doing a good job riding tough on top here. Switches back to that right side. Hayes comes back around now and covers hips. Idle up to his feet. They're going to go out of bounds, and 57 to go now, so a little under a minute here. in the third period.
Now
Here,
conditioning kind of comes in here early on the season.
144 pounds, and that's a big weight to start at for a
yeah.
freshman. So we're going to do caution on red now, which is a change in the duel here.
He's got a
mostly
couple.
it's been Atlantic not covering the elbow correctly or the belly button, and his hands must not have been just correctly on the line there. But Idle doing a good job fighting throughout this whole match, and Hayes just really tough on top, chopping that left arm and the right arm. Idle doing a good job setting out, and Hayes going to get probably called for potentially dangerous. He must readjusted that chicken wing there, chops that opposite
There he
arm.
goes. Now he's got
over
it.
and settles in here.
Oh, that's a pin.
He's got 35 to go. He needs to scoop the head and lift that head up and expose both shoulders, but Idle doing a good job with that left shoulder so far up off the mat here.
It's going to be tough for him to hold that much longer. Hayes has got a lot of leverage, a lot of pressure here.
20 seconds to go here, and there Hayes is able to adjust and tighten up the head there and circle, and he's going to, there's the fall there.
Wow.
Well,
he had it much before that.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, we heard some of the complaints from some of the duels that we've had with the spotlight for the officials. It's hard to see light underneath the shoulder to see if it's actually touching flat or not. So, and I think with Coach Duff going out there 3 times talking about things wrong, the official said, I'm going to make you sweat it out a little bit. No, not really. I think it's hard for the official to see underneath the wrestler on the spot like this.
How impressed are you, though, with Hayes? I'll tell you, Calvin.
Well,
he came out and wrestled like a varsity guy for years, huh?
Right, him and Harder both.
Yeah.
I mean, Harder had the match in hand. It was 6-1, and he just got a little too pushy and got thrown here. So, it looks like we're gonna have an open weight here at 150.
We're tied at 12-12 until now.
And that's Jackson Berkeley.
Right, Jackson Berkeley.
Of Earlham there with the forfeit, so it's a 12-18 match now.
Again in your corner, State Farm Insurance, Elvis Haas, your local good neighbor. And that is Jackson Berkeley of Earlham winning by a forfeit. That boosts the score up to 24-12. Another forfeit for Atlantic. They've got 6 open weights here tonight with some injuries and other issues. Connor Stiles at 157. Also brought to you by State Farm, Elvis Haas. Your coaches show always brought to you by State Farm, Elvis Haas. And in your corner, your lineups brought to you by Elvis Haas, State Farm. So Connor Stiles comes out at 57. And if some of these weights sound strange to you, they are new. We're going to see 165, and we're going to have...
Yeah, it's, you're running into those open weights there. So it's
65 is...
Wrestling from Earlham, Ryan Stiles.
So this will be Ryan Stiles. They bumped up to wrestle. Now they're going to forfeit. That's at 65.
Yeah.
So they're going to jump up to 75, and we'll see if Earlham sends anybody out. And it looks like we're going to forfeit here at 175. Donovan Hedrington will win by fall at 175. So now we'll go up to 190, and it's going to be Cohen Bruce.
Well, we're going to see here. It's Hedrington looks like he's got a match here. Here we go. 190 pounds, as you mentioned,
now
Cody.
this is going to be, it should be 170.
We're waiting for the, nonetheless, Donovan Hedrington and Ty Wilkin.
Ty Willem
from 190 from Earlham. That's your in your corner lineup, brought to you by State Farm, Elvis Haas. So Donovan Hedrington, Ty Willem of Earlham, Hedrington for Atlantic, left on your screen, and Willem to your right at 190. And it's 36-12 leading Earlham.
Yeah, and I think the official, or not the official, I think the scorekeepers are having a tough time keeping up a track and the score card all together. Trying to headlock here by Willem.
Yeah.
Hedrington kind of coming back behind here now, switches to a single. Tries to pick that up, and a headlock attempt there again by Willem.
Oh, boy. Hedrington got the advantage there if he get his head out.
He's still got his head trapped there, but no points awarded there. And Hedrington was doing a good job there, kind of coming around behind, setting through, and they're going to say that's no points awarded as he's got the leg locked up. And The official already awarded 2 there, so the official can't do anything right from either side, the Atlantic side or the Earlham side. So, and I as Hedrington was facing there, the right leg of Hedrington was tied up there by Willem, and he says, he wasn't back around behind there. So, have you ever seen those little flashlights that you can put on your cap?
Oh,
and
yeah,
see?
absolutely.
I think they need to make the officials wear a spotlight so they can see underneath the wrestlers as well as maybe the action a little bit better.
You get out of that spotlight, like you said, Cody, it's tough to see. 36-12 is what we see on the scoreboard. The Atlantic has won 2 of the 3 contested matches. Otherwise, they've been open. And we're all the way to 190 here.
Yeah, there was a caution there on Hedrington as he extended past the belly button there with that left hand. And so 2-0 advantage right now. Hedrington 1 minute into this first period. Hedrington riding on top there, working on chopping that wrist. Now goes to near side cradle, and Willem doing a good job reaching back and kind of separating there a little bit. And we're going to come back to the center. So it'll be 2-1 now. Both wrestlers up on their feet. They shake hands like they do at the beginning of the match here, and just the nervousness of the match and kind of the first competition of the year. It's like, I'm sure they're both thinking, "What'd you shake my hand for?" We already did, but kind of some collar ties, by both wrestlers there, trying to control the elbow there by Willem. You see him take a couple steps back like he's going to try a duck under there or shot or elbow pass or something. And Willem, you tried to see, he tried to get the headlock there earlier, and Hedrington did a good job elevating, going the opposite direction for that takedown there early here in the first period. So again, there's that headlock again, and Hedrington doing a good job keeping his hips back, goes the opposite direction there for that 2-point takedown to kind of close out that first period. So 4-1 advantage now, and that's just good wrestling there by Hedrington, knowing that headlock's coming and kind of settling those hips back. And the Atlantic's choice here, and Hedrington goes down in that bottom position here and gets set. Willem's going to cover that left side, and he's going to get a caution here.
And I think it's Green got a caution.
No, it's
That's red. You're right.
Willem,
You're right. It's Willem.
So Hedrington down and set there in that referee's position. Willem permission to cover there. Hand on the belly button. Right away, Hedrington switches, kind of stands out and stands and faces now.
Yeah.
He's going to get an escape there. So 6-1 or 5-1 there for Hedrington as we start the second period here. Just 15 seconds into it. So
Atlantic with 6 open weights has given Earlham a big advantage here. Trojans have won all contested matches but one at 132, 144.
And you see there goes that headlock again, and Hedrington kind of come right in behind there and needs to trip and go forward here, and kind of sits back and gets him on his knees there. And see Hedrington looked like he was going to try to put that left leg in, but I don't know if you saw Willem there, but he had an underhook on one and had the elbow blocked on the other, and so looked like he was potentially wanting to throw also there. So halfway through the second period here now, it's Donovan Hedrington with that 7-1 advantage over Willem of Earlham.
Willem not doing a lot there on the bottom here.
And Hedrington getting a little bit high there, kind of gets up to his base, and Hedrington puts that leg in, and Hedrington trying to kind of go cross body here and peel. But Willem doing a good job. He's trying to get that leg straightened out and break that leg there by Hedrington. Down to 30 to go here in the second period, and it'll be a stalemate. So we'll come back to the center here. Willem will go back down that bottom referee's position, and Hedrington will cover again.
7-1 Hedrington, you can see on your scoreboard. 36-12, Earlham with the lead on those open weights. As I mentioned, Atlantic had won 2 of the 3 contested matches. Hedrington looks aggressive too, Cody.
Yeah, he did a good job, following him there. You didn't really see him trip forward or anything like that, but Willem kind of gets down on his belly there, and Hedrington working on the left side. kind of riding the hips there. Now he's got a chicken wing on that left side, and he's got the right elbow blocked. Just needs to take some big steps around that head. And we're going to run out of time here in the second period. So
need to pick a leg there and get so that it's going to be neutral.
Yeah, and Willem's going to, he wants neutral here to start the third period. And so as Hedrington, you want to watch the throw or the headlock and just do what you've done the first 2 periods and kind of settle those hips and kind of get in behind there. So you see an underhook on the right side there. Hedrington doing a good job circling opposite direction there and getting that underhook out. Collar tie on the left side there by Hedrington, switches to the right. Willem pushing in a little bit there. Nice fireman's there by Hedrington. Hedrington's got to try to keep him in bounds here, and he's got his head trapped there. Hedrington's head was trapped by Willem there, so no points should have been awarded there. But that fireman's was slick. He slid right in there and got him over. He just got his head trapped and couldn't get it through to the belly side there. So 1:20 to go here now. Shot by Willem. Hedrington kind of just stuffs the head and circles around behind here. And he's probably going to work back on that chicken wing that he kind of had there towards the end of the first period.
Go back to that shot, Cody, and that was a good blast. But talk about Hedrington's counter. I mean, he got fairly deep in there.
Yep, and you see Hedrington right now there has that left chicken wing in, and Willem doing a good job bringing that elbow back forward, though, not allowing it to get his kind of locked up there on his back. Willem kind of coming up to his base. Hedrington pretty high on top there and needs to get off the side and work on peeling a wrist or something. Puts that leg back in. Willem tries to sit back there, and again, Willem doing a good job straightening those legs out, trying to avoid that. You see Hedrington has that left leg in, trying to go over the right leg, get some leverage, and Willem doing a good job. We'll probably have another stalemate here, depending upon what the official calls. We're down to 15 seconds here. 9-1 right now, so it will be a major decision for Hedrington as long as it ends this way, and it looks like it's going to. So be a stall call on. And he releases him here. So. And that's.
That cost a point right there, letting him up.
Yeah.
So
and basically there was, between around 5 seconds left there, and you go from a major to a 4-point win to a 3-point win. So it's just a decision there, and that's a discussion coach will have with him right now about. Good match. This is what I want you to work on. And Coach Duff's good about, sitting down with each wrestler. And so we're going to go to 2:15 now, it looks like. And it's going to be Cohen Bruce bumped up here. And it looks like Corbin, Cohen Bruce.
Corbin Eder and Cohen Bruce of Atlantic, and Corbin Eder of Earlham coming up next. Brought to you by State Farm, Elvis Haas, your local good neighbor in your corner. It's going to be Bruce from Atlantic and Eder from Earlham at 2:15.
And you'll see, Bruce from last year, was going to have more confidence, had a good football season, and he's going to come in, up top, push a little bit.
He won 14 matches a year ago, but his injury plagued season for Bruce, and I know he's hungry to get back at it here this season.
Yeah, they both wrestlers ready here, and Bruce with a collar tie there, head snap, lowers level changes there, and the headgear came on snap there on Eder, and we're going to come back to the center here. So just 6 seconds gone there in that first period. Bruce, was working on the collar tie there, head snaps, some separation there, level changes there, and Eder, circling left to right. Elbow pass there, attempt by Bruce. You see him reach for that inside of the elbow there, kind of double elbow pass there, and Eder pushing in a little bit. And Bruce had a nice double leg shot there when it got stopped with the headgear open there of Eder, but collar tie there, separation again. Still working in the center of the mat here. Double leg shot there by Bruce. Kind of circles around behind here. Again, you want to see him kind of stay back behind the hips there. Reaches back for that ankle. Tries to drive forward, and Bruce is off to the side here. Chops the left wrist now. Tries to peel it out and peels that left ankle out there. Gets that wrist peeled loose on Eder there, and you're going to want to try to keep your pressure, your chest there down on it. He's going to reach underneath the right arm of Eder and try to lock his hand on Eder's left arm. Or he's going to settle and go chest to chest here and use that. But Eder really doing a good job basing out there. Got a real strong base, not able to get turned there, and turns and goes the opposite direction there. And Bruce now tries to come around front here and releases that a little bit. Now he's going to walk forward here and does expose Eder's back a little bit, but Eder almost rolled all the way through here, so could be that there's no back exposure here and kind of rolled through and no back count there. And
Wow.
I would say the shoulder angle, you know, I would agree with the official there that he didn't hold him there quite long enough. So 2-0 right now, Bruce with that advantage. As we go to the second period, it's going to be Earlham's choice, and he's going to defer. So Bruce will go down that bottom position to start the second period.
36-15 the score.
Bruce
with the
is,
lead, and that's on open weights mainly. Atlantic has won most of the contested matches.
Bruce is down and set there. And we're going to get a caution on red. And again, these kids need to go back to their buddies and say, hey, have your hand on the belly button and your hand on the wrist. And so Bruce is down and set there. Eider's covering, and there's going to be another caution here on Eder there, and it's again on the, looks like on the belly button and on the elbow. So permission to cover there. He covers right away. Bruce stands up, rolls, does a Granby roll there back up to his feet. So 3-0 right now. Bruce with a low ankle, kind of a snatch there, goes for a single there, picks up that single, drives forward, takes him back down to the mat. So 5-0 right now. Bruce with that advantage. Right on the edge of the mat here. We'll see if they let him work a little bit here. And Bruce again working on the left side arm of Eider there, peeling that wrist out, and we're going to probably come back to the center here and start.
You know, Bruce wasn't that deep, but what just showed his strength there on that single.
They just
He really didn't have his head in the right position either, but he's able to lift. And I think Bruce is an undersized 215-pounder.
Yeah, I think he probably weighed in at 190.
Yeah,
so,
and Donovan Hendrickton, I think, is undersized at 190.
I think he weighed in at 170,
Yeah, there you go.
175. So each of them giving up 15 pounds. So I'm sure they would have rather had more turkey for Thanksgiving if they knew they were going to bump up that much.
They're holding their own, though, against the bigger guys.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Deep waist there by Bruce there, working on that left wrist again. Tries to go to a half there on the right side. Again, gets him broken down flat. Now he's got a half on the left side, and he's going to walk the head. Good job posting opposite side there by Eder. Bruce now looks like he's got a cross-face cradle. Lets it go. 2-on-1 on the left side. Could be a stall call on Earlham. Still 40 seconds left here, and Bruce is going to try to expose that back, and he had the chicken wing kind of locked up, circling that head, and you know, kind of released that arm and allowed Eider to roll back down to his belly. So 22 to go here now. Bruce with the power half on the left side, and again going to break that. Eider defensively kind of turning both directions, having a tough time getting his base build up here.
One stalling caution on Eder. There's the half. Now the drive. He doesn't have enough time.
Yeah, he's not going to get any exposure, though, because there's only a second and a half left there where he rolled him over. So his coach says, let's go neutral here. And Bruce has taken him down twice and then escaped there in that second period. So both guys will go back up on their feet here for this third period. You know, and you know, Bruce is a quick, I would say, 215 pounder.
190 pounder.
Yeah, 190 pounder, but wrestling up here, he kind of gets.
Whoa! How about that throw, Cody Weaver?
Yeah, he grabbed him by the head there and kind of tossed him. And again, you saw Bruce kind of push in a little bit there, fake a shot, kind of shucked him down a little bit, and as Eider pushed in there, Bruce threw him, but they were, you know, out of bounds there. So post his hand there on the forehead. We're 20 seconds into the third period here, 5-0. Cohen Bruce of Atlantic with the advantage over Eider.
Oh, my.
Stuff the head there, comes back around behind here, and again, he's going to want to work on that half. And as a senior, you know, the more points you can score for your team, you need to show these younger kids, these freshmen, that every point matters. He's kind of got a cross-face cradle here. He's trying to circle around the head and get that locked up, and he's got it locked up here now and going to sit back here, and he's going to end up winning by fall here.
Oh, he's going to got it tight. There it is. How about that?
So just exactly 1 minute left there in that third period. So it'll be 21 Atlantic, 36 Earlham here. We've got a few open matches here, and we've got, you know, we're going to jump up to 285 here, and we've got Sorensen coming up for Atlantic. And, you know, Sorensen, you know, we interviewed during the basketball game on Tuesday, and one of his goals is to be more aggressive and more physical, and I don't know how much more physical or aggressive you can be than what he was at times last year. So he's just so naturally strong and big. And
so Evan Sorensen comes out to In Your Corner introductions, brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Hass, your local good neighbor. Here we go. Sorensen Atlantic with 21 points. They've won all but one contested matches with 6 open weights. And Evan Sorensen here at heavyweight for Atlantic.
And Sorensen's, you know, you hear him trying to work on high crotch or outside single shots, and this is, you know, you have nothing to lose here. You might as well work on that.
Keegan Long wrestling for Earlham. Sorensen's certainly undersized, and he's going to be most of the time this season, but
he's a kid that we saw, you know, last year at 285, pick up kids bigger than him, you know, easily, and he doesn't even know his own strength. So you see a kind of an elbow pass there to a single, and he needs to pull him in bounds here, and so
there's your strength right there, folks watching.
Yeah, and I mean, in that situation, you have to bring him back under control, back to the mat. So that's probably just a caution there. And I know the whistle blew and he released him, but you don't want, you know, a kid to get hurt in a situation like that. But he had a really nice kind of elbow pass into that single. Just was on the edge of the mat there and couldn't quite get that finish. So
Sorensen, there's a nice slide by. There's his aggressiveness Cody's talking about. You don't see that much activity in heavyweight.
Not normally, no. And goes cross face there, and he's going to walk towards the head and circle the head, and kind of a front headlock there, and he's got him tied up. And
oh man, he's pinned. There it is.
Won that by fall. And
1:07. Evan Sorensen, a state qualifier for Atlantic a year ago. He missed a medal by one placing there at the state meet. You know what his goals are here in 2023-24, and gets Atlantic another 6 points here, Cody Weaver.
Yeah, closer now, and we're going to bump up to, you know, we talked about Tay Jordan there, and then, you know, the kid Max Millage, you know, from Earlham, you know, got 5th last year at AAU, so very, very handy kid for Earlham here coming in as a freshman. Anytime you can place at AAU, that's something.
So the introductions, you're in your corner, brought to you by Elvis Hass, State Farm, your local good neighbor. Tay Jordan, who has been having to wait his turn to wrestle here at the flyweight for Atlantic, is signed to wrestle at Northwestern College, and here's his chance. He had a good summer, and it's going to be Kay Jordan and Max Millage of Earlham. Jordan of Atlantic.
You see Millage kind of working off a knee there, and Jordan kind of with an elbow pass there, and Millage really coming in underhook there on, looks like both sides there. Ankle pick attempt there by Jordan. You can see Millage likes that underhook there, and Fireman's there attempt by Jordan, and Millage knows where he's at and in good position there. Re-shot there, and Jordan doing a good job, trying to stay tight there and keep him from finishing. And Millage is going to try to come out that back door there. No points awarded yet. It's probably could be a stalemate, but he does a good job. You see him pushing that ankle down there. He's going to try to step over that ankle.
I didn't get it. How about that?
Jordan does a roll through there and catches him on his back.
No points, though.
No points, and it's going to be potentially dangerous on the knee. So really a good scramble by both wrestlers there. 1 minute left to go here in the first period. And so Jordan, you notice there, didn't panic when he was in that position, and was able to kind of roll through there. Ankle pick there by Jordan. Gets Millage kind of caught on his back, and his back exposed, and he's going to get 2 back points, and looks like he's got the arm bar, releases that arm bar there, and now kind of goes cross body there. Deep waist with that left arm, working on the right arm of Millage. Millage is doing a good job, though, peeling those wrists on the bottom and coming up to his base here, and Jordan kind of driving forward, keeping him broke down here. 24 to go here. 2-0 advantage for Jordan there of Atlantic. And Millage, working on bottom there. Jordan peeling out. Looks like he's got 2-on-1 on the left forearm. Millage now sits out, double chicken wing, and Jordan's going to try to suck him down. Sucks him down and gets that back exposed. Does a good job knowing where he's at. But Millage doing a good job rolling from shoulder to shoulder, and he does get 2-point near fall, and you can see, the coach from Earlham arguing a little bit that he went back and forth between his shoulders, quickly. So Millage is going to defer there, and Tay will go down that bottom position with that 4-0 advantage. And
Tay Jordan is senior. You don't see that very often at 106, and when you've got that lightweight as a senior, the colleges really light their eyes up when you might be able to fill that 126 spot at the next level, which is hard to do. And Jordan, that's where he's headed. He's a senior at this lightweight.
And I don't think he had to cut a lot to get to 6, but the last couple years he's put on a lot of muscle and a lot of weight, and he'll continue to do that, I'm sure, in the off season. And Jordan now reaches back on that ankle there, trying to get Millage out of position here. And you see Millage is a little bit on the high, but he gets both legs in there, and Tay doing a good job kicking those out. But Millage kind of caught there, and you'll see Jordan try to come out the back side here and swim. But Millage doing a good job settling those hips back in over the top of Jordan's hips. And Millage is really a well-built 106-pounder, strong upper body, knows his positions here. And
Millage got that roll through.
Jordan tries to roll through and get him in a headlock, but no points awarded yet, and Millage didn't panic in that situation.
He had a 2-on-1, looked like.
Yeah, but they gave him 2-point reversal and a 2-point reversal, so now it's 6-2. And Jordan, with that left arm kind of caught up here, he's going to have to try to fight. But again, he didn't panic, and you see him grabbing the inside of the leg there. But Millage doing a good job locking that leg of Jordan, and no back points awarded yet. So 50 seconds to go here in the second period. Jordan reaching again in that leg, trying to fight that off, and Millage out front there with both arms tied up, trying to walk over the head, try to get exposure. And Jordan so far doing a good job fighting that off. And Millage is just a strong kid, for a freshman. And again, placing 5th last year, AAU, top quality wrestler coming in. Jordan here with 24 to go, needs to escape and get off. And Millage is, had a tough time getting some exposure there and not able to get any back points scored. So you see Jordan kind of reach over the top of the back there, which is a little bit on the unconventional side. But time's going to expire here. Going to be a stalemate, actually, with 6 seconds to go in the second period. And Jordan's going to go back down that bottom position. Millage really, you know, some bigger shoulders and bigger arms. You can see on the camera there. And Jordan down set in that referee's position. Coverage on the right side there by Millage. And able to kind of keep control here of Jordan as time expires. So it's going to be Millage's choice here. And he's thinking he wants to go top. He felt comfortable with those legs in. Jordan's got a 6'2" advantage here, and he's going to have to fight here for 2 minutes to stay off of his back here.
Or get out off the whistle.
Yep, and you know, up to his feet here right away, and you see Millage kind of chop that right leg and break Jordan back down here.
Millage's going to try to go for the pin or back points. Atlantic down just 9 right now despite the open weights. This is a big match for the Trojans, obviously. There's a cradle attempt, Cody.
And Jordan, you see grabbing that wrist. Grabbing that wrist, controlling that wrist, keeping that cradle from, you know, being able to be locked up. Right now, you see Millage blocking the right side elbow or knee. And Jordan kind of hanging on here and just needs to belly out, and he's kind of going to get a Turk here where that left leg, of Jordan tied up there, and he did a good job getting that leg straightened back out. We're working on a cross-face cradle again here by Millage here with just a little over a minute. Looks like he's maybe potentially got that locked up, but they're right on the edge of the mat here, and Jordan doing a good job extending that left leg, breaking that lock, kind of bellying back out, sitting out now. They're going to go out of bounds here with 55 to go, so still 6-2. Jordan with that advantage here in the third period.
Well, good experience for Jordan as far as being ridden. And Millage, I'll tell you what, if he had riding points in high school, Millage a good controller on top.
Probably about 3 minutes of riding time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he rode him.
Yeah.
And then he chose top here in this, and he's rode him for over a minute now. So, again, Jordan, he's trying to get that leg peeled in there, and he gets the leg in. You're going to try to work out front here, and a power half on Jordan. So we're down to 35 here now in the third period, and Jordan's going to get a stall call against him, and Millage now working on that cradle. Jordan able to kind of come up to his feet here, and Millage kind of breaking back down here, but you see Jordan doing a good job peeling wrist on that left side. Millage kind of has the right leg of Jordan locked up here, and Jordan continues to circle. He's going to be fine here, and he's working on a power half here.
Now Jordan just needs to ride it out.
Yeah, be careful here. He's down to 8, so it'll be a 6-2 advantage, Jordan, and that's I'd have to say this is the match of the night.
Yep, probably, Cody. Yep.
I mean, maybe the other one was rated again, match of the night, but these two battled the whole time, and Jordan comes out on top, but Millage gave him everything he wanted and some.
So the senior over the freshman, and Kay Jordan has been waiting and waiting to get that varsity spot with the 6-2 decision. Now it's a 36-30 duel in favor of Earlham, and Atlantic comes out with Braxton Haas here in our In Your Corner lineup. Braxton Haas for the Trojans. In Your Corner brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Haas, your local good neighbor. This ought to be a good one too, Cody, right here.
It will be. Yeah. It's a 30-36 duel. And, we win this by points. We can, or a pin, you can tie it up, but then we've got to give up an open weight there at 120 unless we throw somebody in there. Haas with that takedown, working on inside control there. He's got the opposite cradle locked up there. Needs to release that and just come back around front. Has the cradle locked up there, but it's kind of across the body cradle, so the shoulder won't be exposed.
Haas, a state qualifier a year ago, Hawkeye 10 conference champion. He's got a lot of potential here for Atlantic. A lot more years to wrestle as well. We may see him bump up to 120 once in a while. Here from 113 as we move throughout the year.
Yeah, I mean, he wrestled 6 last year.
Yeah.
You can tell he put on some muscle. He talked about wrestling some in the off season, and you know, which gave him some confidence and strength. So there's 2 more near fall there. So 4-0 right now, Haas with that advantage. He's working on a tilt here now and kind of gets himself in trouble and gets exposed a little bit, and he's got to, you can
he's
see,
got to be careful. He's going to have to give that up.
Hansen keeps that elbow of Haas and gets the reversal there. So it's 4-2 now. Haas doing a good job peeling the wrist out there, but you can see Hansen working on the right side arm there. Haas up to 2 feet, tries to work on a whizzer here, and Haas doing a good job with his wide. He's got the whizzer in on the left side there, and he's going to want to whip that down and try to reverse, but Hansen doing a good job controlling the right leg of Haas. Haas able to get that out. Right away drops back into a single as time expires. So 5-2 right now, Haas with the advantage.
Nathan Hansen of Earlham and Braxton Haas of the Trojans. It's a 36-30 Earlham lead. We'll see what Haas can do on the bottom here, up 5-2.
Haas right away up to his feet. You can see Hansen there lock the inside of that left leg of Haas. Haas doing a good job controlling that wrist.
Oh boy.
Sits back into him, but Hansen readjusts, and right now Haas has got the inside leg of the left on Hansen, so it's a 2-point takedown, and he's working on a power half, but it looks like Hansen's going to try to come out that back door with that arm and pop his head out for a 2-point reversal. And Haas really doing a good job knowing where he's at and maintaining control there. So 1:20 to go in the second period, 7-2 right now. He's working on a near side cradle now. He has the leg of Hansen as well as over the head of Hansen. Needs to get the head in, his head in the side of Hansen though, and kind of get him to bow a little bit. So he's able to lock that up, and really working on wrist control for both of these wrestlers. Haas now readjusts. He's got Hansen in kind of a tough position. He gets that locked up, but you can see Hansen's got his leg inside of Haas's leg. Hansen, there you go, Haas releases that leg. Needs to drive forward here, adjust a little bit and get his head back in the side, and basically Hansen's just kind of sliding around on the mat there. Did a good job avoiding any exposure of the back there. So we're going to come back to the center. A stalemate called there. 35.8 to go here in the second period. And it's 7-2. Haas with the advantage over Hansen of Earlham. Haas right now working on a tilt. Gets the tilt, rolls through, and does a good job, but now his hips are down on the mat. And Hansen has a 1 count exposure there. So we're going to get a 2 count, 3, be a 3-point, 2 or 3 point near fall there for Haas. As time's going to expire here in the second period. Now he's got a chicken wing in, trying to keep that tucked in tight against his chest. They're going to stop it for potentially dangerous, and they kind of let the clock run out there a little bit, but so it's you got 2 more near fall there, so it's 9-2 right now, and Haas, you have to keep that elbow in tight, potentially dangerous there, and he tried to stop it there as time expired.
Another caution.
And I don't know for sure what okay, so they did go ahead and let him wrestle that extra 1.2, and Hansen chose neutral here in the third period.
And a good block by Haas.
Yeah, deep shot there by
oh boy.
Hansen on a double.
Yeah.
Takes him down, and it's going to be probably potentially dangerous.
Oh boy. Well, the crowd, the hometown crowd, not too happy with that call.
Well, I mean, they're pretty cautious about that, especially when you have them elevated clear up above your shoulder like that. But I think it was, I would have to agree almost with the home crowd. There was nothing hurt there, and it isn't like he slammed him down, let go of him. He held on to him as he came down, but it's, the official's call.
Oh, you bet.
So Haas in on that double again, but his head kind of trapped in between here. Hansen working on tying, and Haas circles that leg, just needs to get his head pulled out of there, and Hansen's probably going to hold on here for a stalemate. But you can see Haas kind of reaching back, trying to push the leg to get that head popped loose, and should be a stalemate pretty quick, I would think, as neither wrestler's really advancing here. And so I think there's got to be, I think I counted 48 fans that said stalemate before he called it. So
Good for them. 48 of them, huh? Not
Yeah.
49.
So both wrestlers back on their feet. 1 minute left here in the third period. You know, Haas in that same position. Again, Hansen in that same position. So did we learn anything from the last time we were in there? Can we push that? You know, Haas continues to try to push that leg out. Hansen maintains his body tight to Haas's to avoid Haas from getting that body out. Right, and it's another stalemate, and this time we called it a little bit quicker. So,
Well, you get those legs in, you got to do something. There's a shot by Hansen, a good block again by Haas.
yep, Haas kind of out front there and tries to circle around behind here and is able to kind of come around behind here for a 2-point takedown. And so it's 11-3 right now. And it's a major decision, you know, so you want to maintain that. And if Haas gives up points here, Haas still has control, but
he's got to hold on for 15
and I think the
seconds.
official's like, man, I wish the time was up because I don't know how to call this for sure. And
Well, he just gave up 2.
yeah, and that's the difference between a major and a decision, you know, and it's you love the aggression of Haas there, you know, trying to get those 2-point near or that near fall.
Well, Haas will win 11-5, and the score now goes to 36-33. Didn't quite get that major decision, and Atlantic actually gave up a couple of chances for a major decision.
Yep, and they're going to forfeit to Knoyer here at 20, so it'll be 42-33. It'll be your final duel or final dual score here. So,
well, Atlantic impressive. And the weights they wrestled, I thought they came out and they had some young guys out there. Cody Weaver and Earlham's going to get away with the win here with Atlantic 6 open weights, but some good matches here tonight.
yeah, I think they're going to shake hands here, and then they've got those 3 JV matches they do here. But, you know, if you kind of do a recap or.
Let's take a 2-minute timeout. And we'll come back to recap this whole thing here tonight as the JV matches will take place. We're back in 2 minutes.
Hi everyone, this is Caitlin from your Atlantic Hy-Vee. Start your day off right and let us take care of breakfast. We have so much to choose from eggs, sausage, bacon, pancakes, and so much more. We are available 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. daily. Stop in and enjoy. Have you ordered your holiday packs yet? Leave all the holiday craziness to us. Stop in or give Crystal a call today to get your pack ordered. And don't forget, we also have in our meat department, you buy a ham and get a free turkey. That's right, you buy a ham and you get a free turkey. Thank you as always for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
At Outfitters Plus in Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear. Head to Outfitters and work with the design pros to make your customized tees, team apparel, and personalized swag for your business a reality. Whether it's fan apparel for your high school or youth sports teams, your business, or you just want to make something your own, you'll have everyone saying, "Where'd you get that?" Don't forget, Outfitters will also add your group store online to make ordering a breeze. Get personalized at Outfitters Plus Outlet Store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Rolling Hills Bank and Trust.
Here at Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're dedicated to agriculture. That's why we offer various services that fit your growing ag needs. All our decisions are made locally by experienced lenders that truly understand the unique challenges of your operation. We're large enough to handle all your lending needs, yet small enough not to lose that personal touch. Our dedicated loan officers want to work with you to help your operation grow and thrive. Feel free to stop in and talk about how we can help your business succeed. Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
And welcome back to Atlantic. Thanks for joining us here on our live video stream powered by Nishnanet here at Atlantic and Earlham. And it was the Cardinals winning this duel tonight, 42-33. As we recap the action, we started out at 126 pounds. Josh Winnie of Earlham won by a 4-foot. That put the Cardinals up 6-0. But boy, the marquee match that Coach Duff talked about, Cody, I think you agreed with early on with Aiden Smith and Peyton Harder, Smith of Atlantic and Harder from Earlham. And with Smith coming out aggressive with a pin at 150.
Yeah, he really came out. Smith is up at 132 here, and 132, and we think we'll see him probably go down to 26. But Harger, a senior, tough competition. He, pinned him towards the end of the first period, but it was pretty equal. Both wrestlers aggressive. Smith is just knows where he's at, not going to get himself in trouble, and he looks a lot stronger than he did last year. Last year, he was at 113, and he's really filled out a lot from what he was. He looks a lot stronger, and so he's going to obviously got high goals, be on top of the podium here in February.
No doubt. And 138, the Malachi Ruska and Jaden Hart, another Atlantic freshman. And Hart was leading 6-1, but Ruska able to come back and get the fall of 3 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah, and that's, it's a tough lesson for Harder because he had the advantage there, continued to push in and ended up getting thrown there and pinned. And I'm sure he's going to kick himself until they wrestle again. Hopefully they meet each other in Corning again, and he'll know.
Yeah.
He's going to know what I need to do to beat this kid. And, with the technology that you have now, you can watch those matches, and it's a good teaching lesson for him coming out his first match here at 138. I thought he looked really good.
I did too. He looked excellent. Speaking of looking good, another freshman at 144 for Atlantic, Calvin Hayes. Boy, was he tough, wrestling Cole Idle from Earlham. And Hayes wins by fall in 5 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, and he just continued to work throughout the match, and pretty much wore him down there at the end and ended up getting the fall. But, both of those freshmen were both aggressive, and Hayes never really got out of position, did a good job maintaining control, and kind of just wore Idle down there and ended up getting the fall towards the end.
Then it's where the Trojans kind of stumbled here because they had open weights at 150, 157, and 165, and 175. Jackson Berkeley of Earlham wins by forfeit at 50. Connor Stiles wins by a forfeit at 157. Ryan Stiles a forfeit at 165. We did not get a name for the Cardinals at 175, but, right there is 24 points that the Trojans had to give up tonight because of not able to fill those weights with injuries and some other issues. Hopefully they'll get some of them filled. I don't think they're ever going to be able to fill them all, but hopefully get some of them filled here.
Yeah, Coach Duff talked, about injuries and ineligibility and things like that, and it's early in the season. But you start your Hawkeye 10 duels already next week, so that's where it matters. And those kids more than likely won't be back, before that duel. So
as we take a look at some of the other results, then we jumped up to 190, and Donovan Hedrington had a yeoman's job tonight. He weighs about 175, but Cody mentioned earlier, and he won by a 9-2 decision over Ty Willem, and really Hedrington controlled the match all the way. That extra point there, that second point came with the seconds left in the match, but Hedrington looked good.
Yeah, he did. I mean, giving up 15 pounds, and I thought he was, aggressive, had some really decent shots, never got himself in too much trouble. Willem, continued to want a headlock, and he did a good job circling opposite direction and keeping his hips back. So he had the leverage on that headlock and able to slip his head through there, and get back behind him at least twice, So no points awarded there.
We'll bring you the 215, 285 matches, 106, 113, and 120 coming up here right after this 2-minute timeout. Here on our live video stream, WesternIowaToday.com, powered by Nishnanet.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast, and it all starts with free local towing. Want your back at the shop? We talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
Colton, with you more involved with farming, what have you observed?
Farmers don't just work harder, they farm smarter.
We've definitely seen that with the Enlist weed control system.
Oh yeah, application is dictated by the grow stage, not a set date on the calendar, and you can take mix with liberty.
Plus, you have a post program that you don't have to worry about drifting into neighboring fields.
Nailed it. To learn more, contact the Seed Pros.
The Seed Pros, with you from the word go.
The Seed Pros, Mark Bantacker, Gary Dinklet, Nick Knutson, and John Becker.
Get to the Super Bowl for Globe Bowling on Friday and Saturday nights. Perfect for birthdays, reunions, family and friend get-togethers, and date nights. They even have bumpers and ramps for the little ones. Globe Bowling, all the glow-in-the-dark fun you love. Plus, the friendly competition of bowling makes for a great night. Call Dan to schedule your next party at 243-4656. Globe Bowling on Friday and Saturday nights at the Super Bowl, Highway 71 in Atlantic.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com.
Back to Atlantic, Tom Robinson with Cody Weaver. Our play-by-play man is the varsity match over. Earlham winning 42-33. As we work through the matches here this evening, Cody, let's pick it up after Hetherington. Then we get to the match at 2:15 with Cohen Bruce and Corbin Eder.
Yeah, and Bruce really did a good job in that match. Controlled the whole match. You like to see that in a senior coming out, having an injury last year. You could tell that he was wanting to compete, and I felt that he did a good job at 215, giving up some weight. And then at 285, we had Evan Sorensen come in, and he, as a junior, experienced last year at the state tournament. Actually 2 years, I believe. And he met Keegan Long, a freshman, and took a little while, but he got Long taken down and kind of just a front, come out front, kind of across the head there, and was able to roll Long over and get the fall.
Yeah, Sorensen, one of those undersized like Bruce and Hetherington, as Bruce won by a fall in 5 minutes exactly, and Evan Sorensen with a fall in 1 minute and 7 seconds. And at that point, the Trojans really making a bid at it despite being short-staffed tonight. We get into the lighter weights, and Tay Jordan and Max Millage took the mat. Jordan for Atlantic and Millage for Earlham. And it was Jordan winning by 6-2. And we're going to have a little discussion on our State Farm Elvis Haas match of the night coming up here in just a little bit. But Jordan wins that 6-2. But what a great match. And we, you mentioned many times the strength of Max Millage, just a freshman. And he rode Jordan out there for about 3 minutes and just couldn't get him turned over, and Jordan got an early lead. Talk about that a little bit. I mean, Jordan came out and got that early lead.
Yeah, Jordan came out, right away, kind of on fire and got the back exposure. And I guess I thought the match was it was closer than what I thought. But Millage, had his opportunities and just couldn't capitalize on it. And that's something that he'll work on. Coach Duff talked about him, maybe potentially placing fifth last year at AAU. And AAU is not class 1A, 2A, 3A. Those are all classes together for those little kids up at AAU. So to end up fifth at the state wrestling tournament for AAU, that is really impressive as an eighth grader. And you could tell he was a quality opponent for Jordan. Jordan doing a good job, not getting too worked up, knowing where he was at, and not getting too far out of position. Millage, twice had him down, and we talked about the ride time. He rode him for probably 3 minutes, but not able to get him rolled over enough to get enough back exposure.
So Jordan wins that. And then at 113, Braxton Haas, a state qualifier 1 year ago, and he won by an 11-5 decision over Nathan Hansen. At one point, he had that major decision up 11-3, but Nathan Hansen able to get a 2-point reversal, I believe it was, Cody, late.
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a tough thing. Coach Duff wants you to score points as an individual, but as a team, you know, the difference really came down to like the last 5 seconds or so. And Haas did a good job. You know, he elevated him once a little bit too high and got a potential, you know, not slam, but a potential warning there against him, potentially dangerous. And, you know, Haas continued to work through the match and was able to finish it off.
You bet. Well, that was with Haas at 113 pounds. That pretty much did it. Dallas Canoyer came out and won it by a forfeit over Earlham for Earlham over Atlantic, and then your score 42-33. So, you know, Trojans look good, Cody. I mean, they won most of the contested matches, obviously.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you're going to see them take some lumps as, you know, a lot of them are freshmen or young kids or younger kids in high school here, but they all competed. I didn't see any real high or low emotions. Pretty consistent. Yeah. They continue to work, and I think Coach Duff will be happy with the results. Yes, there's a few things, you know, a couple of the matches that could have been majors that were, you know, but really in the end, if it's 33-42, it's not going to make the difference in the duel. But some of those close duels, you know, it's gonna make the difference in a win or a loss. And I've got to give credit to Earlham. You know, a lot of these smaller schools, the 1A schools, have a tough time filling a roster, and they had quality opponents at every weight. I think they had one weight class open, which if they needed to, they could shift kids around. But a lot of the smaller schools, the wrestling programs aren't what they used to be. And they've got a good, solid program, good coaching staff, and it's nice to see that in a small school.
Well, you remember guys like Quinn Christensen, and who wrestled for Winterset, went on to wrestle for Simpson College, where your son also wrestled as well. And they've got young kids in this Earlham program, so you're going to see this program solidify in years to come. How about that Canoyer name from Oakland?
Yeah, I mean the two Canoyer boys both wrestled over at the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, and Brad and Kyle both, and I think their sister was probably the toughest out of all three of them. I remember her being a cheerleader when I was in high school, and she definitely has more attitude than what they did. They stayed pretty calm, but man, she was a firecracker. So,
oh, that's great. Hey, we've got coming up our match of the night. It's brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Hash, your local good neighbor, will have that match of the night. Cody Weaver will bring you that right after this.
Are you ready to be part of something bigger? I'm Myron Stein, president of Stein Seed Company. We're seeking exceptional individuals like you to join our team as independent sales representatives. If you're passionate about agriculture, ready to make a difference, and want unlimited earning potential, join the Stein team as an ISR. To learn more about open positions near you, contact your local Stein RSA, Darren Petty, at area code 712-249-5884.
That wrestler in the corner is dedicated and determined to work as hard as he can for his team. His drive and perseverance comes from his core. Now, wouldn't it be nice to have an insurance agent do the same for you and be on your team? Here at Elvis Haas State Farm, we're in your corner to help you with your insurance on your auto, home, farm, business, life, and financial services. We help you understand your insurance and show you the benefits of bundling all of your coverages with just one company. Put us on your team here at Elvis Haas State Farm, 1/2 block west of the courthouse, or call 712-243-4824.
And welcome back to our post-match coverage here in Atlantic. 42-33 Earlham with the win over Atlantic. And our match of the meet brought to you by State Farm. Elvis Hash, your local good neighbor. Cody, we talked about 132 ahead of this matchup tonight, but I think you might have another idea of what was the match of the meet.
I think when you look at it, you know, as ranked opponents, you would for sure have picked a 32 match as a key match, but you know, Smith really took care of that match. You know, in the first period, it probably would have been a better match if we could have made it to the second period, but, you know, he got called for the fall there and got the fall. But when we got to 106, you know, you've got a senior in Tay Jordan who's been waiting. You know, he's had his opportunities a few times the last few years, but he's the guy now at 106 as a senior. And Max Millage coming in with his history from last year at AAU. Jordan really came out and, you know, got Millage in some trouble there early, but really that second period and third period, Millage kind of controlled the top position and it was about everything Jordan could do to, to continue to stay off of his back. He worked several different things, had legs in, and but Jordan knew where he was at, and would grab the leg or whatever to keep his back from getting exposed. But those two probably will see each other again, assuming down at John Harris. You'd be love to see it in the finals, if they can make it that far. But that's a tough tournament. But that'll make a difference in the seeding, for John Harris, and that's a good match for, Jordan to start out his senior career. You talked about him committing to wrestle in college, and that's a big commitment to wrestle in college. So I really think that from a competitiveness standpoint, that match went the whole 6 minutes, and it was a battle the whole 6 minutes.
It was.
So
Milledge's going to have a good season. There's no doubt about it there at 106. Well, next wrestling coverage comes a week from tonight, Cody.
Yeah, we're going to be Creston and Red Oak are coming to town for the Hawkeye 10. And, Creston was pretty well loaded up last year, and all those kids are back. So they're going to be looking, to win the Hawkeye 10 again. And, Red Oak's got quality opponents as well. And, we've got a young squad. So we learned some lessons tonight. We'll learn more lessons tomorrow night. And it's the fun part about a young team is to see how much they can grow throughout the year, and not just this year, but as they get older too. So it's something you look forward to as a fan of the sport, is to see the growth and the gains that you can make in certain opponents, or stretch the scores out on certain opponents. So it's a individual sport, but it's also a team sport, and we'll be looking forward to next Thursday night when Creston and Red Oak come to town.
We'll be here for that coverage. It'll start around, I believe, 5:30.
Yes.
And we'll be on the air with the State Farm Elvis Haas Coaches Show at about 5:15, and wrestling starts at 5:30. Cody, thanks a bunch. Appreciate you very much. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
That'll do it for our live video stream broadcast tonight here from Atlantic as they finish up the JV matches. Once again, the final, Atlantic and Earlham. It's Earlham 42, Atlantic 33. Our next coverage comes up next week right here in Atlantic with that double duel with Red Oak and Creston and the Trojan Triangular. And the Atlantic will travel to Humboldt tomorrow night. We'll have those results posted a little bit later on in the evening, if not early Saturday morning. With Coach Duff's interview coming up as well. So the Trojans turn right around, and they get a pound, as Cody Weaver mentioned, and then they head north to Humboldt for that tournament tomorrow. For Cody Weaver, I'm Tom Robinson. Thanks for joining us, and big thanks to Nishnet for powering our live video stream here for high school wrestling tonight on Meredith Communications. Good night from Atlantic.